Hey everybody, it's Corey. Welcome to my channel. You may see that this is the first video that I'm putting out into the YouTube universe, and I am very, very excited. I wanted to cover three things in this video. One, a bit more about me and my background. Two, topics that I'm hoping to cover in this channel moving forward. And three, lessons that I wish my younger self knew about money and personal finance. So let's jump into things. Who am I? I'm a 32-year-old native Californian that's lived in New York City for the last 5 years. In my 9-to-5, I partner with nonprofit organizations who are looking to scale their impact via their recruiting, talent development, marketing, or fundraising initiatives. And outside of work, I'm passionate about personal finance, fitness, food, and enjoying all the amazing things that New York City has to offer. The goal of my channel is to share ways that we can all live well, fun, meaningful lives while at the same time living well within our financial means, such that we're setting our future self up for success, whatever success may look like for you. Reasons why I hope this content is going to resonate with you. One, I didn't grow up coming from money. So when I was 18, when I was 22, I knew very little about money and personal finance aside from saving and how to save. And I realize now in looking back that saving is only one aspect of how one grows their net wealth. Two, over the last 6 years, I've been able to take the lessons that I've learned from those around me to help grow my net worth. And I now currently have 2 apartments that I own here in Manhattan. Three, I feel like if I'm able to do this, then others are able to as well. So I don't work on Wall Street. I haven't been at a startup that's IPO'd, and I'm not in a senior leadership role where I'm making loads of money. So I feel really confident that if I'm able to accomplish many of these milestones over the last 6 or 7 years, that you guys will be able to as well. That all said, I am still on my own journey when it comes to money and personal finance, but I hope that you will come along for the ride and that together we can be better versions of ourselves. So let's dive into advice that I would give my younger self around money and personal finance. Lesson number 1, it's okay to talk about money. So when I think about this specific lesson that I would give my younger self, it's okay to talk about money with family, with friends, with colleagues. The more that we're discussing it, the more awareness that there is around the topic. It's something that is a part of every single one of our lives, but everybody's relationship with money is unique. And so we can't be expected to be experts on a topic that we're not openly discussing. It's so interesting, when I was younger, my parents instilled the value of money and of savings, but there were still so many topics that we never discussed. I never knew the expenses that were coming in. I never knew the salary that my parents were making as a school teacher and as a small business owner. And so if I had had all of those other lessons, I feel really confident that it would have propelled me forward even faster so that I could become much more savvy when it came to my own personal journey. Lesson number 2, know your money coming in versus your money going out. So when it comes to your financial journey, you can't be spending more money than you're making. So make sure that you understand the money that you're bringing in through your side hustles, through your part-time job, through your full-time job, right, through your babysitting, and also keep track of the money that you're spending on expenses like rent, like utilities, like your car payment. And we're thinking tactically about how one is able to track those expenses. For those of you that are not doing it already, when I was younger, I used Mint.com, and it was a really fantastic way of linking up my various credit card and debit cards so that I could get a holistic understanding of where I was spending and the categories that I needed to get under control. Number 3, know your net worth. So be able to break down assets versus your debts. Net worth is defined as the value of assets a person owns minus the liabilities that they owe. So it is really, really important in order to be able to gauge your financial health. I'll create a separate video that'll dive more into this topic, but at a very, very high level, you should be able to take inventory of assets and the existing debts that you have. 4, understanding want versus need. Now, this is something that I really wish my younger self had a better grip on, because I felt like as a kid, I constantly thought that I needed something, when in reality, it was purely a want, right? I was simply trying to keep up with the Joneses, as a lot of people will say. And when we break down want versus need, what is it at the end of the day, right? A need is something that you absolutely must have in order to survive. So a roof over your head, food on the table, and that compares to a want, which is something that you just simply feel like you need, when in reality, it's not essential and you can still do without it, right? I feel like most of us do understand the difference between want versus need, but we are constantly being bombarded with advertisements, with influencers on social media, people who are living such fun, lavish lifestyles. So it makes it really, really difficult to be able to sometimes differentiate between the two. But try to reflect on what you truly need versus what you want. And to be fair, we're all humans. So there are going to be times where we want to YOLO, right? And we want to just purchase that thing that we want to purchase. And so my question would be, if you are going that route, is the thing that you want to buy going to make your life better or make your life easier in the future? Because if so, then it may not necessarily be a bad thing to have. But again, please try to understand the difference between want versus need is what I would tell my younger self. Lesson number 5, set short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. So this is something that I truthfully am still working on, but if I were to be talking to my younger self, I wish that he would know to be more aggressive and intentional when it comes to setting goals for himself. It's so important to pair long-term with short and mid-term goals, because if a goal, for example, is to retire before the age of 50, that's a long ways away, and you may lose sight of that goal. So it's really, really nice to be able to complement that with goals that are a bit more in the near term. So for example, my goal may be, as a 22-year-old who's graduating from college, to save enough money so that I can move out of my parents' house into an apartment of my own, right? That may be a short-term or mid-term goal. Again, it's important to pair all different timelines for your goals so that you can put quick wins up on the board and feel really, really good about achieving those milestones. And you'll find that when you are achieving them, you strive to achieve even greater. Number 6, invest in yourself. So when I think through investing in oneself through the finance lens, I think the younger version of Corey should have invested more in his 401k. He should have invested earlier in his Roth IRA. He should have set aside more money for his emergency fund, and he should have started investing in the stock market earlier so that he could see some of those benefits over time. Now, if we were to think a little bit broader around this whole concept of investing in yourself, I absolutely wish I'd invested in my skill development earlier. Being more mindful around investing in the people and the relationships that I want to nurture over time. There are so many different ways investing in yourself can be manifested. And so I would encourage you all to reflect on that and think through what can be most meaningful and impactful for you. Lesson number 7, start early. So whether that means starting to save early, whether that means starting to invest early, whether that means investing in your skill sets or in your craft sooner rather than later, don't be afraid to start now. Don't let the fear of the unknown paralyze you from taking action. Because I know for myself, that was absolutely the case. And I realize now, if I had just started taking baby steps to get me to the goal of where I would ultimately like to be, I could absolutely be even further along in my life journey and in my financial journey. So don't be afraid to start tackling things that are just really, really unclear or unknown to you. I think that just by you watching this video, and I'm sure other videos on YouTube, it shows that you're taking the initiative to invest in yourself. So I encourage you for doing this, because I know that my younger self, when I was 18, was not doing this. And that was a really, really big miss on my part. So those were the 7 lessons that I would give to my younger self. I hope this content was helpful and that you were able to take away some valuable information. Comment, like, subscribe. I want to hear from you guys. What is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self? Can't wait to see the comments coming in, and I am looking forward to our next video. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.